A comment says if you can get 5% from a 20-year treasury, you can safely withdraw 5% in retirement. It sounds logical, right? It's also dangerously incomplete. What this argument is doing is taking a yield number and turning it into an income strategy. But those are not the same thing. A bond yield is a return assumption. Retirement spending is a decision under uncertainty. When you confuse the two, you don't get safety, you get false confidence. For that 5% withdrawal idea to actually work, a lot of things have to quietly stay perfect, and they won't. First of all, interest rates have to stay favorable. You're buying a 20-year treasury. What happens after 20 years? You have to reinvest. At what rate? You don't know. If rates drop to 2 to 3%, your entire plan changes. That's reinvestment risk, and it's ignored. Second, inflation has to cooperate. The 5% is nominal, and if inflation runs at a 3%, your real return is closer to 2%. If inflation rises more than expected, you're not maintaining your lifestyle, you're slowly reducing it. Third, taxes are missing from the picture. Treasury income is taxable at the federal level. So your 5% is not 5%, it's lower. And that difference compounds over time. Fourth, your timeline has to match the bond. The bond lasts to 20 years, your retirement might last to 30. So what funds year 21 to 30? This is not a detail, this is a gap. Fifth, you must never be forced to sell early because if you do, bond prices move with interest rates. Rates go up, price go down. Now you're not just withdrawing, you're locking in losses at the exact moment you needed stability. And this is where the real problem shows up. The problem with reacting is that sometimes reacting means cutting off a limb to survive. You're not choosing the best option, you're choosing the least bad option under pressure. And why does that happen? Because there are too many variables you don't control. You don't control when markets drop. You don't control when inflation spikes. You don't control when policy changes. And most importantly, you don't control when you need the money. So when all of that collides at the same time, you're forced into a decision you didn't plan for. That's what reacting really means. So the issue here is not can you withdraw 5%? The real issue is what happens when your assumptions stop holding? Because they will. Retirement is not just about average, it's about timing. You don't run into trouble because returns are low. You run into trouble because you were forced to act at the wrong time. So the question is not, can I get 5%? The real question is, do I have control over when I take income? Or will the market decide for me? Because once you lose that control, you're no longer executing a plan, you are reacting. And reacting in retirement is where permanent damage begins. A yield can look stable on paper, but retirement doesn't happen on paper. It happens over time under changing conditions with real consequences. At the moment your plan depends on nothing changing, you don't have a plan, you have a bet.